So I feel a heavy water sign energies coming through. So let me just relay a piece of information that came through when I was shuffling out this spread. First of all, I feel like some of you some of you have children and you're in a relationship here with somebody who is emotionally, it could be, the mother or the father of your children, or it could be somebody that you share a living space with. You're dating, living together, you are trying to co-parent or whatever the situation is, but they are around your children. And I feel like emotionally, they're very, very, very up and down. They might not be emotionally well. They might not be physically well. And I feel like many of you don't trust them around your kids. You're finding out some information about, their behavior towards your kids. Or you are finding out that I don't really like the way they behave around my kids, so I need to break away from that relationship in order to preserve the innocence, or the to create the proper household environment for my kids. So I feel like it's almost like making a major, major sacrifice, because the end goal is you want your kids to be safe, you want your kids to be happy, and you feel like putting your kids in that situation is bad for them. So you're consciously making a wise decision to isolate, that person, just leave them, drop them from your life, and then moving away from it with your kids, because ultimately the kids are innocent, right? So I commend you for doing that, because I feel like it takes a lot of courage, but you're doing the right thing. And for those of you who are dealing with that, what we have here is the Six of Cups. This is a card about children, putting the children first, really loving, caring for, and seeing the bigger picture here. I feel like you might have been dealing with a water sign. So we have here a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. It's linked up, excuse me, it's linked up with the Temperance card. And this is what I mentioned earlier about the emotional fluctuation, emotional ups and downs. I feel like for many of you, this is the partner that you feel like they're too emotionally volatile. It could be like, they could be any sign, but I feel like you're dealing with a partner that you feel is very emotionally up and down. They're kind of unreliable or unstable, and you don't really trust them around your family. You don't trust them around yourself even, and you don't trust them around your kids. I also feel for many of you, this is a situation where we have a blast from the past. The Six of Cups is a past energy. It's past life, but it can also be in the recent past or in the past. You were dealing with somebody, water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Things have not been great. And I feel like this person was heavily, heavily, heavily dependent upon you to uphold the relationship, because I feel like emotionally, um, they're a little bit erratic. And so the communication, the balance, the give and take in this relationship has not been very stable. Okay. You still care about them. You want them to be okay. You wish the best for them. But I feel like their life is still a little bit messy, and they're not at a point right now where they should be in a relationship with anybody, because they have some work that they need to do and they've been avoiding it. So that's for some of you with, children, or even without children, but you're dealing with a water sign or somebody who is very emotionally irrational, emotionally volatile, or emotionally not in control of themselves. Okay. The foundation here, we have the Six of Wands and the Ten of Cups. For others of you, I feel as if there's this renewal in the sense of your renew in a love or a trust in a relationship. So the foundation is something that we know to be true. It's already happened. The Six of Wands in the reverse means lack of success, lack of forward movement, lack of achievement. And I also feel like you have a relationship partner that is dealing with some emotional issues. Either he or she is not able to feel like they're frustrated with the way things are happening in their lives. They're frustrated that they're not able to get the job that they want. You can also be frustrated that you're not getting the job that you want. there's some career professional blockages and you're feeling frustrated. And I feel like the more frustrated that you are with the outside world, or with, things not going professionally the way that you want, you're not making the money that you want, you're not being respected and treated or appreciated in the work environment the way that you want. Your only sanctuary when you're dealing with this in the external environment, it can really prick your pride. It can really hurt you in a personal way. And so you're finding a lot of refuge in the home environment because you and your partner have built up this mutual image of trust, this perfect family together. So you have heavily relied on your partner. This is the 10 of Cups. It's a family card. You have relied on the fact that I had to take care of my family. So even though I'm nothing here, I'm something, I'm special when it comes to, the people that I care for, how much they care about me. So I feel like this is kind of like your refuge, your haven. And this is the month where you are going to get a lot of love and support from family. And then I also feel for some of you, you might be a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad. You chose to purposely forego pursuing career and professional, like success in order to be a full-time or even a part-time stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad, because you want to either educate your kids, homeschool your kids, or be emotionally present for your kids. And I feel like there might have been some shakeup recently in that marriage situation. And I feel like you're feeling kind of duped. One person is feeling duped. Like, I can't believe all the sacrifices that I've made professionally and just financially in order to be a good mother, in order to be a good father, in order to be a good caretaker. And you're feeling underappreciated, and you're feeling almost as if financially you could have gained a lot more if you didn't forego, if you didn't make these professional sacrifices in order to take care of the home. And so it's starting to dawn on you that this might not be enough for you, that you need to be out. You need to be in an environment where professionally you feel like you're making progress. Okay. So I feel like a lot of things are coming into the picture that you need to re-examine as to what you need to do now, what you care about, and what you are willing or not willing to, or what you are or are not willing to sacrifice anymore. And I feel like it's a big jolt to the system because some of you, you've had a very lucrative career. You might have put it on the back burner to do the parenting thing. It could be male or female for those watching this. And as a result, you feel a little bit resentful that, this is not the way that I wanted. I did it because I trust my partner or I love the kids, and now it's becoming too much. You are also, I feel like there are opportunities kind of, people, opportunities pulling you back into that public environment, and the opportunity looks really good. And you're trying to figure out, should I go back to work or should I cater to the demands of my family? So we have a situation where you are reassessing here. You're reassessing a financial decision. You're reassessing a relationship. You're reassessing your role in it. Okay. So it's not a bad thing. For others of you, we have here, crowning this reading is something that you are thinking about. So we have here the Page of Cups, and once again, water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. This is somebody coming through with an offer of love, an offer of reconciliation, an offer for a comeback, and with messages, and you're not sure what to do. You're still like, I'm not really sure. I just see you like, I'm too busy. I have other things going on. And so you kind of push aside that message. You try to, manage it, and you try to make sure that you try to, I feel, show that, oh, it doesn't affect me. But I feel like at night you're thinking about it heavily. I feel that you are. And you're still not sure how you should act. On the one hand, emotionally, you might still be very wound up with them. You still care about them. But I feel like your pride has been pricked. And so no matter how much you miss this person, you're not going to give them like an easy re-entry back into your life. You're not going to give them an easy, clean slate to get back. You're going to make them jump through some hoops, and it is advisable that you do that because we need to make sure that the person is sincere. This Page of Cups energy in this deck is a little bit problematic. It's somebody with a lot of options, somebody who is quite flirtatious. They have other options that they're running concurrently. They're running with. So I want you to be a little bit careful if this is somebody that you're dealing with, okay? Especially if it's coming back from the past. Make them jump through hoops. Just do that. In the past position, we have here the High Priestess. News, information coming to light, things that you had inkling about, but you never had proof. I feel like there is going to be some proof coming through in the picture for you, and you're going to have, you know, a clear awakening of, okay, so that's what's happening. It's like that aha moment, and you're going to have all the answers to your questions. So this is showing up in the past. So for some of you, it might have happened during that eclipse. For others, I feel like the residual energy is coming through where it could happen for this month. And I also feel like with the Six of Pentacles, this is a card about dividing ourselves, our time between, you know, multiple people, multiple options. So I'm sensing for some of you, this brings us to the present moment. We have here the World, and the World is a card about moving on, breaking ourselves free, unburdening, like unraveling, like untying ourselves from the chains and the restrictions and moving on with our lives because choices are coming up. We have as well the Four of Wands, and the Four of Wands basically in the reverse position, it basically indicates to me some major relationship. There has been some major shakeup, especially in a marriage relationship or a relationship that you thought was very stable, and now it needs to be reassessed. It needs to be reworked. It needs to be kind of like revised. You know, certain expectations have to be revised. Certain things needs to be revised. I also feel for some of you, you might have been dealing with somebody that was married. They say they're divorced. They say they're separated. They're not. And so you might have been dealing with this person. You realize in the recent past that that they might have been dividing their time between you and another person. You might have waited for them. And this is the month where you start to break free. So emotionally, you feel like they might owe you an apology, honestly. So Leos, this is what I have for you guys. I don't like to relay bad news. I feel like if you are with somebody and they're in another relationship and you're waiting around for it, it's not worth it, okay? It's just not going to happen. And that energetically can create a lot of blockages for you. If you are in a relationship and there have been, you know, financial mismanagement from you or your partner, it needs to be worked out. There's still a lot of love here. So I feel like things can be worked out. Things can be reconciled. And things can be okay again. And then for others, I have somebody dealing with someone who is emotionally volatile that you don't trust around your kids, and you're making clear plans to protect your kids and to get away from that person, which I commend you for. Okay.